Most families will spend more time researching a refrigerator than they do researching the coach, who will literally be spending hundreds of hours with their child. Think about that for a second. Tryout season is here, and most athletes are spending their time preparing for tryouts. They're getting extra reps. They're going to clinics. They're working camps. They're working on their skills. They're trying to make a good impression. But here's what I don't see enough families doing: preparing to evaluate the club. Because tryouts aren't just about whether the club wants your athlete, they're also about whether you want that club. Before tryouts, I'd be trying to figure out who I'm handing my kid over to for the next 8 or 9 months. What's this coach really like? What's this club really about? When things get hard, and they always do, how do they handle it? Because eventually every athlete struggles. Every athlete loses confidence. And eventually every athlete has a rough tournament. What happens then tells you a lot more than what happens on Instagram. I've seen families make decisions based on rankings and uniforms and social media presence and tournament schedules. Then, 6 months later, they're wondering why their athlete isn't enjoying the sport anymore. Not because the club was bad, not because the coach was bad. It just wasn't the right fit. Some athletes thrive with a coach who's intense and demanding. Some athletes need something a little bit different. Neither is necessarily right or wrong. The question is whether it's right for your athlete. So, while your athlete is preparing to be evaluated, spend some time preparing your own questions too. Talk to current families. Talk to former families. Have conversations with coaches. Try to understand what the club actually values, because the goal isn't just making a team, the goal is finding the right team. Don't just ask if the club wants your athlete, ask if your athlete should want the club.